Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and this is going to be a unique video. It's actually more like a public service announcement as far as I'm concerned. Now, starting yesterday, I believe, some No on Prop 22 protests were held in San Francisco. By the time this video goes up, they will be in my hometown of Los Angeles. Now, in the past, I have visited these rallies and these protests. I have live streamed them. I've met a lot of people. A lot of people that are very nice. They're very passionate about Uber and Lyft. They want to make the platform better. I'm perfectly fine with this. However, this video is not to say how great the work of Rideshare Drivers United or Gig Workers Rising is, even though it is. It's not here to compliment them on doing a good thing, because in some ways I don't agree with it this time. And it's also kind of almost a plea that if this protest shows up in your area, I hate to do it, but I really have to encourage everyone not to go. Now, some of you might be confused at this point. Kevin, are you voting no on Prop 22? And the answer is yes, I am voting no on Prop 22. Kevin, do you want to encourage other people to vote no on Prop 22? Yes, I am actively encouraging people to vote no on Prop 22, although again, at the end of the day, it's their choice, and I obviously can't force you to do what you don't want to do. It's like, well, Kevin, haven't you supported, the protests in the past? Yes, I have. Kevin, do you support the protests today? No. And why don't I support them today? Because of this. Because COVID-19 cases are on the rise. And in fact, 11 states this past weekend reported record numbers. Guys, I think we're kind of missing sight on something here. We are losing sight of the fact that we are in a pandemic. We're losing the sight that during that pandemic, you should be wearing masks and staying 6 feet apart. Both. If you're cuddled up together wearing masks, it'll help a little bit, but it's still a much bigger risk. We're losing sight of the fact that, we still don't have a vaccination, and by the way, this isn't just going to go away once 2021 hits. The pandemic will not end just because I have a new calendar year. It will end when we have a viable vaccination and when people do what they are supposed to do. Personally, I think we're going to be living with this for at least another year. And so and here's the thing, doing Uber and Lyft right now is inherently not safe anyway. If there's ever a time to step away from Uber and Lyft and let Uber and Lyft come to you and make it worth your while to drive for them, now would be the time. Because it's not worth doing Uber and Lyft when you have a much, much higher chance of getting sick. Well, for all these reasons, I don't think you should do the protest. I know there's going to be a protest anyway. I know it's to raise awareness to vote no on Prop 22. And I know that Prop 22 is a serious matter. Uber, Lyft, Postmates, DoorDash, all of them, they all need to have their feet held to the fire. They all need to stop taking advantage of drivers and to a certain extent even passengers. And these companies are predatory. They have predatory behavior, and they have job conditions that would be illegal under any other circumstance if they were any other business. And I think we need to do something about it. And Prop 22 might not be a solution, but it would be a good first step. And I understand that we want to get the awareness out there. But what's this going to look like? If a lot of people show up, it's going to be crowded. And if just one or two people have COVID, they're all going to have COVID by the end of the day. Now, some people are watching this and saying, hey, 99.7% of people survive this. Not a big deal. We'll be fine. If you feel like that, hey, you know what? I guess this video is not for you. But, unlike most people, well, I say most people, but there should be more people who know this. I know people who have caught COVID. I've known people who have died from COVID and who have recovered from COVID. Now, the people who died from COVID are probably having a very bad day. They don't have a whole lot of options left. They're dead. I also know people who survived COVID. And of the 3 people that I know who survived from COVID, one of them bounced back relatively quickly and was perfectly fine. It does happen. The other 2, not so lucky. In fact, the other 2 had scarring on their lungs. And the scarring on the lungs was bad for one of our friends. It was so bad, she actually is looking at not being able to physically work for a year. The other person, he is able to return to work, but he is not functioning the way he used to, and the doctors are hoping the scarring on his lungs recover by a certain extent, but in the next 2 weeks, if they haven't recovered any more than they already have, then the damage is done. Whatever is damaged is damaged. So you do not want to get this, even if you are likely to survive. And I don't think we're helping drivers when drivers go to a protest like this. Because if all these people who go to this protest get sick, yeah, most of them will probably survive. But what if they can't work because the scarring on their lungs are too great? What if it knocks them out because they've got like a compromised immune system? Now, some of you might say, well, that's their choice. They came out. Yes, but surely there's got to be other ways to raise awareness. You know, is there not ways you can go door to door to people, stand 6 feet apart and say, we're standing 6 feet apart, but we want to tell you about Prop 22. Can you not tell people on Facebook and Twitter that you're doing this? Can you not tell your friends and then ask your friends to tell their friends? I know that the protest will be effective in getting attention. It might even get some media play, but the people who go are going to be putting themselves at very, very real risk. And here's the thing, and I know we don't really want to admit it that much, but even if Prop 22 does not pass, it's not going to be a Band-Aid that fixes everything. Uber and Lyft is still going to be kind of a crummy job, and it's going to be a long time before we get something that is even remotely looking fair, and it may never be the job that you want it to be ever again. Is that worth gambling your health with? Personally, I don't think so. So, if there was no pandemic, I would have shown up, I would have been there with everyone, because I do think this is an important issue, but because of what's currently going on right now, I'm begging people, please don't go to one of these things. It's got a few more days. I know that Gig Workers Rising and Rideshare Drivers Alliance, I know that they probably are not going to be happy with this video. They might even consider me an enemy at this point. You know, I'm sorry if that's how you see it. I do believe in the work you're doing. I just do not believe this is a good thing to be happening right now, because you are putting the people who are going to be there at needless risk and all the people that they are going to be seeing for needless risk, for a job that will never again pay more than minimum wage. Never again will it pay more than minimum wage, regardless what direction it goes. So, I'm going to get a lot of flack for this one. I know I am, but I would like to know, what do you think? Are you going to go? Are you not going to go? Comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Stay safe out there.